Now to officially start our meeting, Commissioner Batcher, lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Starting our agenda this morning with item B, approval of regular session minutes of June 30th, 2021. Board, we've received them in advance. Are there any deletions or corrections?
None.
None.
Hearing none, call for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Item C, a presentation by Cindy Jenkins-Gramke, Executive Director this morning of Clermont County Services. Good morning, Cindy.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for allowing me to be here today and for being able to present the annual report. You know, I know we're halfway through the year, but this is our report for 2020. And I'm glad we didn't bypass it this year. It's a good thing, and I think it speaks to certainly what we all experienced in the last year. So Clermont Senior Services exists for a reason, and that's because we provide a very wide range of services specifically designed to help people stay in their own home for as long as possible, to live safely and independently. And we focus on a number of things, certainly, but the bottom line for us is service with heart. And we provide that service with heart in the very most efficient, effective, and professional manner possible, always remembering who is making that possible for us. And that's certainly the people here in Clermont County who have invested in Clermont Senior Services since 1980, I want to say 1980. So it's been a few years. It's been a few years. Our typical customer, I always like to share this, 68% of our customers are female. 76 is the age, the average age. They live alone, make about $1,200 per month. The youngest age we serve is 60. The oldest is 108. And she actually lives in one of our senior housing communities, which is wonderful. I went to her 100th birthday party, and now it's 8 years later, and I'm expecting to go to her 110th. The levy, I mentioned the levy is so important to being able to provide the level of services that we provide, and it is in fact those voters of Clermont County that make that possible. And just to really put it in perspective, 73% of all the revenue that is needed in order to provide those services comes directly from the levy. There are also other funding sources that require us to use local match in order to be eligible for those funds. So levy accounts for a real impact of 89% of our total budget. And as everyone knows, last year especially was an anomaly. And I just want to publicly take this opportunity to really bring recognition to our frontline workers. Everyone worked every day, because older adults need life services. So our home care workers, our Meals on Wheels were delivered every day last year. Transportation, although certainly what you're going to see in this report is that the number of units of service were down for lots of reasons, mainly because seniors were doing what they were told to do, stay home. Be safe, stay home. But they also still needed to go to medical appointments, and we were still taking the same number of people to dialysis every day of the week. Certainly the COVID-related impact had a significant impact on our services delivered. Last year, 5,091 individuals received services. Now, about 80% of those 5,091 individuals received multiple services. So they're unduplicated individuals, but they receive multiple services. However, that was less than the services that were provided in 2019. As you can see, there were 6,361 individuals served. It's the first year we've had a drop and not a significant increase. The very hardest hit was the Adult Day Services Center. Between the Adult Day Services and our Lifelong Learning Centers, Governor DeWine closed. He actually closed them on March 17th. I closed them on March 10th, though. And this was a typical day in 2019, as you can see. You know, we usually averaged 55 to 60 people every single day at this Adult Day Services Center in Batavia. Here are a couple of other pictures that were in the 2019 annual report, just to remind us, you know, what a vibrant center it was for folks who would otherwise be isolated at home. So what do we do? Well, you know, we had to keep people just interacting to some degree. That failure to thrive was significant, as we all know, but especially for these folks. And so we began Zooming, because most everyone attending Adult Day lives with family members because they can't live independently. So many times the family members have internet access and they know how to use it. So here we have, in the left frame, we have some of our volunteers, Cheryl Taylor and a couple of others in the background, and then G in the front, who is our activity director for Adult Day. And you can see participants in the screen there, and it's become very popular. And even still, until we can reach back up to capacity, we're still doing some Zoom sessions. So what do we do with that big empty building when the governor closed ADS? Well, this is what we did. It was transformed into an emergency COVID pantry. And what you see there, food, we had clothing, a lot of cleaning products for people, masks, all the PPE you can imagine for people for seniors in the community. They could either come and have a family member pick things up, or many times our drivers would drop them off when they were along their route. And the only way this happened was because the Clermont community stepped forward with absolute generosity. As you can see, the financial gifts, the in-kind gifts were significant. There were 146 donors, but many of those donors gave multiple times. We had 701 requests from seniors for items, and 493 older adults served. So many of them were served over a long period of time because they were isolated at home for a long period of time. The community donations were not just by individuals, but organizations, businesses, and here you see in the lower left and the picture on the right, those are, that was a drive that Crossroads did here in Clermont County, and I know we were not the only benefactor. There were many benefactors for multiple drives they had. And this is a sneak peek. This was our 4th of July party last week. And even though this is in 2020, it is a sneak peek at what's happening right now. We are not at capacity yet, but we're getting back to normalcy. And you can see the center is open and active, and everyone is having a great time there. We do, of course, provide our other programs, and I'm just going to kind of highlight where the services were so impacted by COVID. And this particular service, you can see that we provided 70,300, it's actually 335 hours of home care service. In 2019, we provided 84,000. So there is a difference there. People did not, a lot of times they just didn't want someone coming in and even helping give them a bath and help them with some homemaking to keep them safe in their homes. But everyone was doing what they were told to do, and that was to be safe. Home delivered meals. We did not use volunteers last year. I mean, there's a lot of control issues. Our staff was continually trained on safety protocol. So our drivers were delivering those meals, which they could do because we didn't have the level of medical appointments. It took a long time before doctors would even see patients. So this is what our drivers did. They delivered the Meals on Wheels. Generally speaking, we average 80% of our Meals on Wheels are delivered by volunteers. And so last year, for the most part, other than January and very little at the end of the year, there were no volunteers delivering meals. This is the only service that absolutely increased in numbers. And a lot of that is because people were isolated at home. And instead of being able to go out and do an in-home assessment of that person to determine eligibility, we did a on-the-phone assessment. And you can see those meals increased by 121.99%. So that particular service was extremely important during COVID. Our home safety repair program, I think this is interesting because even though we served more older adults in 2019, we provided many more hours of service in 2020. And a lot of that is because the projects have become so complex. And so here you can see on the left-hand side, I mean, there was kind of a makeshift means, and it was short, and so it had a very sharp versus a gradual incline and slope to it. So the picture on the right is what our volunteers were able to accomplish with building a new ramp for this individual. Here you can see, we talk about safety. The floor on the left, the before pictures, the floor was rotted out in the bathroom, and there was no sink in the bathroom. And now you can see the toilet's been replaced and the flooring, and a sink has been added. A new tub enclosure was also added so that it could be, and grab bars were added. Case management, those are the licensed social workers and registered nurses who go out and they do in-home assessments here. There were fewer hours in 2020. These, again, they worked every day, and a lot of times what they did was certainly from the office. We had to suspend the in-home assessments. Our lifelong learning centers, they too were affected by the governor's orders. The governor had ordered those centers closed as well. We were able to open them a little bit earlier than the Adult Day Services Center with a lot of modifications in terms of capacity and barriers and mask and social distancing rules. But everyone was so excited to come back to the center. But still, you can see what a difference it made with COVID. In 2019, there were 26,463 visits to our lifelong learning centers. And last year there were only 4,987, and you can see it wasn't quite cut in half, but from 961 adults participating in 2019, we went down to 592 participating. We also did some fun things with Zoom, and this is actually still...
Good morning, welcome to Cooking with Gary. There is your custard. And in this bowl, you're going to make the topping that goes on. All right, so we're almost done here. All right, so right now, we'll go ahead and cover the mixture. We are done. Ready for questions?
It didn't quite go that fast, of course. But we cut it down. Tom, you'll be thrilled for this, a 24-second video. Well, here's another sneak peek. Here's a sneak peek of 2021. This is our Lifelong Learning Center at the Union Township Civic Center. And, there are a couple of other rooms and there are activities going on. And, these participants are playing pinochle, and they're really thrilled to be back together and to have this opportunity for socialization. And we're thrilled too. Our congregate on-site center meals, actually Adult Day is the primary user of this, and since Adult Day was closed almost all of last year other than January, in February, we went down considerably there too. There were, 2,470 meals served last year on site compared to 11,835 meals in 2019. Our transportation program, I think that's probably one of the very most important things that we provide, because at the top of every needs assessment, when we go out and we meet with seniors in the community, they say, getting to medical appointments, getting where they need to go is critical. And, shopping, we do have volunteer shoppers, but sometimes we're able to fit them in and get them to grocery stores and things like that. So we certainly last year, there was a tremendous impact because of COVID, and we provided 25,984 trips for 1,018 seniors compared to 48,365 trips for just a little over 1,000 in 2019. Here are some of our vehicles. We have, of course, all the vehicles either have, the larger vehicles have the wheelchair lift. Some of our vehicles now have as many as 4 wheelchair tie-downs. More and more people are needing those. And then the one in the top left-hand corner, he has a rear access. So he has a ramp that comes out, but it can come out further, so it's a more gradual slant to that. One of the things that we did, and these were specific COVID state funds that came down through the state, and they were for a vaccination clinic, specifically for the low-income senior housing communities. So we were able to coordinate transportation for that particular vaccination clinic, and we brought seniors from all of the Clermont Senior Services and a couple of other senior housing communities in that day. And the National Guard administered them. As the buses came in, they got on the bus, they administered the shot and got off the bus. So it was extremely efficient. And also, as you know, we have the exclusive contract to perform the investigations under the Adult Protective Services and under contract with the Department of Job and Family Services. And so that is a very important function of our agency to protect the people that we serve. And we have 5 investigators who are answering to the referrals. Again, remember, we encourage people to refer if you observe, and the investigators will go out and they'll make the judgment. But it's important that we're protecting people from abuse, neglect, and exploitation. That's really critical. And I just wanted to point this out too, because there actually were, you can see how this escalates. We had 124 referrals in 2008 for investigation. And in 2019, it just continued to go up and up and up. We had 505. Well, it went down last year. And so it not only didn't increase, but it did decline just a little bit. And we think that was probably because people were isolating and they weren't allowing someone to come in their home and sell them something that they didn't need. They were even isolating themselves from family. So, and this was kind of a statistic, I think, kind of statewide. It seemed like they went down. We also do guardianships. We serve guardianships, and that is under contract with the Clermont County Probate Court. Those went up. 95 guardianships were served in 2020 compared to 75 in 2019. And the guardianships are really critical, and we do have a volunteer program that places volunteer guardians as guardians only of person, not of finances, not of estate, but of person. So they help make decisions for that individual who just cannot otherwise make a decision for him or herself. Our volunteer resources, granted, they were down last year because we didn't even use any of our Meals on Wheels volunteers, but we had more volunteers because they were doing other things, helping to deliver, the COVID pantry things, and they still delivered 11,573 hours of service compared to 2019, where there were 28,476 hours. You know, organizations throughout the county did some really special things. Here's a, for instance, representative of a number of different businesses and organizations, volunteers from TQL came forward and they made beautiful cards for people who were homebound. And these they made for home delivered meals. So it was very welcome by the customers. And we still did a lot of other things, a lot of outdoor things, you know, yard cleanups, and also, you know, delivering or bringing in donations for the COVID emergency pantry. I mentioned our low-income housing. At the end of 2020, there were 352 seniors on the waiting list for 264 units, and these are our communities. I always like to show this just because, you know, we're still growing in Clermont County. 25% today, 25% of our entire population is 60 years of age and older. So it's something to really think about. And as in the next at least 10 years, we're going to see a jump to 30.5%. And then it'll kind of slow down between 2040 and 2050. But it's something we have to remember. The older adult population is increasing dramatically. And I'd just like to thank you again for giving me this opportunity. Please know that we are committed, and the Board of Trustees of Clermont Senior Services is committed to being responsible stewards of taxpayer dollars. And we are always looking for ways of working together with other organizations so that we can better help seniors remain living safely in their own homes.
Thank you, Cindy.
Thank you,
Board,
Cindy.
any comments this morning?
Thank you.
Thank
Any
you.
questions?
No, thank you
All
for
right.
all you do and your
Thank
staff
you.
and everyone who volunteers. Thank you. Next on our agenda this morning is public participation. Do we have anyone in the audience who would like to speak this morning? Hearing none, moving on to item E, consent agenda. Board, we've received the consent agenda in advance. Are there any corrections or deletions this morning?
None.
Hearing none, call for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Item F is item number 8 is what we're starting on the non-consent agenda this morning. First item is recommendation of the Board of Clermont County Commissioners to adopt resolution number 116-21, resolving to approve payments to vendors in the total amount of $994,151.59 as set forth in the BCC approval invoice report for checks dated July 7, 2021. BCC directed prepaid invoices reports and/or the procurement card transaction report as presented by the county auditor on July the 6th, 2021, and further authorizing the county auditor to issue the warrants for pursuant to section 319.16 of the Ohio Revised Code. Board, do I have a motion to pay the bills?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Item number 9. Good morning, Tim Dick. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Item number 9 is a recommendation of myself, Timothy Dick, Director of Department of Job and Family Services, with the concurrence of Thomas J. Eigel, County Administrator, to adopt resolution number 117-21, resolving to execute subgrant agreement G-2223-11-6910 by and between the Clermont County Board of Commissioners on behalf of the Clermont County Department of Job and Family Services, the Ohio Department of Medicaid, and the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services, Office of Fiscal and Monitoring Services, Bureau of County Finance and Technical Assistance, located in Columbus, Ohio. And this is for the Clermont County to continue to receive funding awarded to the state of Ohio by the United States Department of Health and Human Services and the United States Department of Agriculture for state fiscal years 2022 and 2023. And this is to perform the subgrant activities for all County Department of Job and Family Services duties as set forth in section 329.04 of the Ohio Revised Code, as well as all public children's services duties and all child support enforcement duties effective July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2023, pursuant to Sections 307.98, 5101.21, and 5160.30 of the Ohio Revised Code, and in compliance with the terms and conditions stated therein. This is for, we have to sign this agreement every other year in order for us to receive the federal dollars to run the programs in the various JFS areas.
Thank you. Board, you've heard the reading of item number 9 and a recommendation to adopt resolution number 117-21. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes, thank you. Item number 10. Morning, Mr. Palmer.
Item number 10 is the Clermont County Sheriff's acceptance of the proposal and execution of a contract for services with AE of Ohio Incorporated, DBA AE Security Group for a security system upgrade for the Clermont County Jail Adult Detention Facility, pursuant to and in compliance with Section 307.862 of the Ohio Revised Code, 21-0226-006. Recommendation of Robert S. Leahy, County Sheriff, with the concurrence of Thomas J. Igo, County Administrator, to accept the proposal of the security system upgrade for the Clermont County Jail Adult Detention Facility, heretofore submitted by AE of Ohio Incorporated, DBA AE Security Group, 4449 Easton Way, Suite 200, Columbus, Ohio, 43219, and received on or before 04/15/2021, and to authorize the execution of contract for services for the security system upgrade for the Clermont County Jail Adult Detention Facility in accordance with the scope of services identified as Exhibit A attached hereto and made a part thereof, in the amount of $275,000 pursuant to and in compliance with the terms and conditions set forth therein, and contingent upon the release of the required purchase order in concert with the requisition number 00003222-00, dated 6/22/21, relative thereto.
Heard the recommendation to accept the security system upgrade for the Clermont County Jail Adult Detention Center as read in item number 10. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Item number 11. Thank you, Mr. Palmer. Morning, Mr. Rudd.
Good morning. The Clermont County Courts of Common Pleas, the Clermont County Municipal Court, the Clermont County Common Pleas Clerk of Courts, and the Clerk of the Clermont County Municipal Court request to advertise for competitive sealed proposals for a case management system for same pursuant to and in compliance with Section 307.862 of the Ohio Revised Code, 21-0628-001. The recommendation of myself, Tim Rudd, the Clerk of the Clermont County Municipal Court, with the concurrence of Thomas J. Igo, County Administrator, to approve the request to advertise for the request of competitive sealed proposals for a case management system for the Clermont County Courts of Common Pleas, the Clermont County Municipal Court, the Clermont County Common Pleas Clerk, and the Clerk of the Clermont County Municipal Court, pursuant to the specifications therefore, and to authorize the Clerk of the Board to place a legal notice in a newspaper of general circulation for 4 consecutive weeks, commencing on July 15th, 2021, scheduling a non-mandatory pre-proposal meeting on Wednesday, August the 11th, 2021, at 1 p.m. local time in the Clermont County Court of Common Pleas Jury Assembly Room, located at 270 East Main Street, Batavia, Ohio, 45103, with said proposals to be received until 2 p.m. local time on Thursday, August 26, 2021, in the office of the Board of County Commissioners, 101 East Main Street, Batavia, Ohio, 45103-2960, where they will be publicly open and acknowledged thereafter pursuant to and in compliance with Section 307.862 of the Ohio Revised Code.
This notice will also be posted on the Clermont County website at the following URL link, www.clermontcountyohio.gov.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 11, to advertise for the request of competitive sealed bid proposals for the case management system for the respective courts and clerk's offices. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor? Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Rudd. Item number 12. Morning, Craig Reisner. How are you?
Pretty good. Good morning.
Morning.
Greg Reisner, County Engineer's Office. Item number 12 is a recommendation of Jeremy Evans, County Engineer, with the concurrence of Thomas Eigel, County Administrator, to execute record plat number 6293282 and 6293283 for the following subdivisions located in Batavia Township, and further to execute a performance and maintenance bond as well as a performance bond for sidewalks. This first subdivision is Derby Place subdivision, Section 3A and Section 4A. The performance bond is $28,000. The maintenance bond is $10,000. The sidewalk bond is $32,120.
Board, you heard the reading of item number 12, and this is to execute record plat number 629-3282 through 629-3283 as it pertains to Batavia Township. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Item number 13.
Item 13 is a recommendation of Jeremy Evans, County Engineer, with the concurrence of Thomas Eigel, County Administrator, to execute record plat number 6293284 for the replat of lots in the following subdivision in Goshen Township. It's H.G. Strominger subdivision, and the purpose is to create a new lot number 53D.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 13 to execute record plat number 629-3284, and this is in Goshen Township. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Item number 14.
Item 14 is a recommendation of Jeremy Evans, County Engineer, with the concurrence of Thomas Eigel, County Administrator, to execute record plat number 6293285 for Billingsley subdivision, Section 2, Block D, located in Batavia Township. There are no street or sidewalk bonds associated with this section.
Board, you've heard the recommendation of item number 14 to execute record plat number 629-3285, and this is also in Batavia Township. Do I have a motion to approve? Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Item number 15.
Item 15 is a recommendation of Jeremy Evans, County Engineer, with concurrence of Thomas Eigel, County Administrator, to execute record plat number 6293286 for Billingsley subdivision, Section 2, Block E, located in Batavia Township. And there are also no street or sidewalk bonds associated with this section.
Board, you've heard the recommendation of item number 15, and this is to execute record plat number 629-3286, and this is Batavia Township. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Item number 16.
Item 16 is a recommendation of Jeremy Evans, County Engineer, with concurrence of Thomas Eigel, County Administrator, to adopt resolution number 118-21 to convert a combined performance maintenance bond in amount listed below for the construction of streets in the stated lengths in the following subdivision located in Union Township. This is Magnolia Trace subdivision, conversion from a performance to a maintenance bond.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 16 and a recommendation to adopt resolution number 118-21, Magnolia Trace subdivision in Union Township. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Item number 17.
Item 17 is a recommendation of Jeremy Evans, County Engineer, with concurrence of Thomas Eigel, County Administrator, to execute record plat number 6293287 for the dedication of 0.3438 acres of additional right-of-way along 9 Mile Tabasco Road, County Road 95, located within Pierce Township. This is it was multiple parcels, and it's a redevelopment for commercial use, and part of the requirement is that they dedicate additional right-of-way along 9 Mile Tabasco Road.
Board, you've heard the recommendation of item number 17 to execute record plat number 629-3287, and this is within Pierce Township. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Item number 18.
Item 18 is a recommendation of Jeremy Evans, County Engineer, with concurrence of Thomas Eigel, County Administrator, to execute record plat number 629-3288 and 629-3289 for the following subdivisions located in Pierce Township, and to further execute a performance and maintenance bond as well as a performance bond for sidewalks as surety for the same relative to the construction of below listed streets. The performance bond is $43,000, the maintenance bond is $10,000, the sidewalk bond is $47,680, and there's two sections associated with this bond: Prestwick Place 2A and Prestwick Place 3C.
Board, you heard the reading of item number 18 and asking for a motion to execute record plat number 629-3288 through 629-3289, and this is for following subdivisions as listed in Pierce Township. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Thank you very much. Item number 19. Good morning, Lyle Bloom.
Morning. Item 19 is a recommendation to award the bid for project number 6402-601171 relative to the 9-mile wastewater treatment plant improvements project located in Pierce Township, pursuant to the plans and specifications to Mechanical Construction Company out of Portsmouth, Ohio, for the lowest and best bid received on May 27th, 2021, for a total amount not to exceed $1,885,100, and to execute the contract relative thereto, pursuant to and in compliance to the terms and conditions set forth therein, and award of bid therefore, and contingent upon the release of the necessary purchase order. The bid for this received by the contractor was 104% of our engineer's estimate.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 19, and this is to award the bid for project number 6402-601-71, and this is in Pierce Township with the 9-mile wastewater treatment plant mechanical construction company. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Item number 20.
Item number 20 is a recommendation to adopt resolution number 119-21, resolving first to accept, approve, and ratify the detailed plan, specifications, estimates of cost and financing, and tentative assessment for proposed improvements to the county wastewater system within the Clermont County Water Resources Department, as set forth in Exhibit A, and designated as project number 6402-60161, and described as the construction of the Deerfield Road Sewer Petition Project located within Goshen and Miami Townships, and second, to determine that special assessments are to be levied and collected to pay a portion of the costs of the project in the form of a basic benefit assessment and an improvement assessment as outlined in Exhibit B, which is attached thereto and made a part thereof, or general obligation bonds or notes issued in anticipation thereof, with a portion of the cost paid as a contribution by the Clermont County Water Resources Department's Wastewater Capital Improvement Fund, pursuant to and in compliance with Chapter 6117 of the Ohio Revised Code.
Board, you've heard the recommendation to adopt resolution number 119-21, and this is for project number 6402-60161, and this is a Deerfield Road Sewer Petition Project located in Goshen and Miami Townships. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Item number 21.
Item 21 is a recommendation to adopt resolution number 120-21, declaring the necessity to construct improvements to the Clermont County wastewater system. And this is also for project number 6402-60161, consisting of constructing, maintaining, and operating the Deerfield Road Sewer Petition Project situated within Goshen and Miami Townships, and is more particularly described in the detailed plan, specifications, estimates of costs and financing, tentative assessments, which are on file in the Office of the Clermont County Water Resources Department at 4400 Haskell Lane, Batavia, where they may be examined by all persons interested therein, and to authorize the clerk of the board to place a legal notice in a newspaper of general circulation for 2 consecutive weeks commencing on May 15th, 2021, to publish the date, time, and place designated by the Board of County Commissioners where endorsements of and/or objections to the construction and financing of the proposed improvements will be heard pursuant to Chapter 6117 of the Ohio Revised Code. And the public hearing is to be held at 11 a.m. local time on Wednesday, August 18th, 2021, here at the office of the Board of County Commissioners, 101 East Main Street, Batavia. And the notice will also be posted on the county's website. We also send certified mail to the property owners, letting them know of the public hearing. So a little background on the project. This is about a 1,101-foot sewer extension, 8-inch sanitary sewer extension. The property owners petitioned the county. We received the petition on November 13th, 2017. It will benefit 10 different property owners. Based on written responses we've received to date, 5 of those property owners are in support, 3 are opposed, and 2 have not responded. The total project cost is estimated at $323,500. A portion of that's going to be paid by the Water Resources Department, and the remainder would be assessed to the property, to the benefit of property owners. Right now, the estimated assessments per parcel, and this includes the capacity fees, the tap-in fees, are $29,500 for each parcel.
Commissioners, quickly, the legal notice is July 15th, 2021.
Did I say the wrong date?
I think you said May. It's okay. It's okay. You can get me for it later. Don't worry about it.
What was the correct date on that again?
July 15th, as it's indicated in the motion.
All right, thank you. Board, you've heard the reading and the recommendation to adopt resolution number 120-21 for project number 6402-60161, and this is for maintaining and operating and construction of the Deerfield Road Sewer Petition Project situated within Goshen and Miami Township, and the notice of the public hearings. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Item number 22.
Item 22 is a recommendation to authorize Commissioner Corcoran, President of the Board, to execute an agreement by and between the County of Clermont and the Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana Regional Council of Governments for comprehensive regional planning services for the county, total not to exceed $68,458, effective 7/1/2021 through 6/30/2022.
Board, you've heard the recommendation, and this is to approve an agreement with OKI for comprehensive regional planning services for the County of Clermont County, Ohio. I'm asking for a motion to approve, and I will make that motion this morning. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Abstain.
Item number 23. Good morning, Mr. Mooney.
Good morning. It's a recommendation of Brian C. Shrive, Chief Assistant Prosecuting Attorney, with the concurrence of Thomas J. Agel, County Administrator, to authorize the payment of $2,000 to Catherine Otzel in exchange for the parents' release and indemnity agreement for the provisions of full settlement and release of all claims associated with the matter of claimed injuries to a minor child, initials SO, the terms of which are set forth in that detailed agreement.
Board, you've heard the recommendation, and this is on item number 23. And this is to authorize the payment of $2,000 to Catherine Otzel in exchange for the parents' release and indemnity agreement. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Item number 24.
Recommendation of Brian C. Shrive, Chief Assistant Prosecuting Attorney, with the concurrence of Thomas J. Agel, County Administrator, to authorize the payment of $3,000 to Catherine Otzel in exchange for the parents' release and indemnity agreement for the provisions of full settlement and release of all claims associated with the matter of claimed injuries to minor child, initials HO, the terms of which are set forth in detail in that agreement.
Board, you've heard the recommendation. Item number 24 is read for payment of $3,000 to Catherine Otzel in exchange for the parents' release and indemnity agreement. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes, thank you. Item number 25, Mr. Weigel.
Item 25 is a recommendation to authorize Commissioner Corcoran, President of the Board, to execute the joint application for employment of outside legal counsel with the Clermont County Prosecuting Attorney to the Clermont County Court of Common Pleas for the employment of legal counsel pursuant to and in compliance with Revised Code 30514 for the representation of Clermont County Treasurer Jeannie Zermely in and as it relates to the litigation filed in the United States District Court, Southern District of Ohio, Christopher Hicks versus D. Vincent Ferris, case number 120-CV-00680.
Board, you've heard the reading to authorize and execute a joint application for employment of outside legal counsel as it pertains and described for future litigation. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Jean, you have obviously come here today to this meeting to answer any questions about this, that there might be anything you would like to talk to us about before.
Yes, thank you. I'd just like to inform the board that this gives me no joy in asking the board to approve this expenditure. As you may or may not know, I filed a complaint against Christopher Hicks in April of 20. Complaint was referred to the Attorney General for investigation, and upon their investigation, they decided to do a cease and desist letter. Immediately following that, Mr. Hicks filed an action in the federal court stating that the law that was referenced in that complaint was unconstitutional and inhibited his ability to do public records requests. So as a result of that, his counsel wants to take my deposition, and that's the reason for this request. I think you all know me pretty well. I take taxpayer money very seriously, and I don't spend it frivolously, but I understand I'm entitled to this defense or award of counsel under Ohio Revised Code 305.14, and I would appreciate the approval of that expense.
Thank you, Mrs. Zermely, for giving us the explanation on it. Any other discussion on that this morning? Hearing none, call the roll for approval, please.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Item number 26.
Morning.
Good morning, Terry.
So I have the recommendation of Thomas J. Eigel, County Administrator, to adopt a revised table of organization which reallocates the supervision of the BCC Administrative Assistant 1 and the BCC Administrative Assistant 2 positions of the Board of County Commissioners under the supervisory oversight of the Executive Assistant 2 position as outlined in Exhibit A attached thereto and made a part thereof, effective upon approval, and further to authorize an update of appropriate internet links and appendices accordingly.
Board, you've heard the reading of item number 26 and the contents to approve the table of organization reallocation. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Thank you. Item number 27. Morning, Mary Raines.
Mary Raines from Office Management and Budget. Item number 27 is the recommendation with concurrence of Tom Seigel, County Administrator, to authorize Claire Corcoran, President of the Board, to execute the annual tax budget for Clermont County for fiscal year, calendar year 2022, pursuant to Section 570528 of the Revised Code. We had no public comment come to our office, written or verbal, and I checked with the Commissioner's office, and they've received no comments. So we had the public hearing June 23rd, and this is just adoption of the requests made by the departments for next year.
Board, you've heard the recommendation, adopt and authorize to execute the annual tax budget for the County of Clermont County, Ohio for the calendar year 2022. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Mary, I know on that annual tax budget, we had talked about the 911 services. Where does this tax budget lay in that particular issue?
The recommendation was to, the revenues coming in for next year is projected at just a slight reduction from this year, and it's to give the entities the benefit, somewhat of the benefit that the county received from the COVID monies, where public safety services were taken out of the general fund and put into the CARES Act monies. So it kind of shares that. Now, the board has not made a final determination on the 911 fees, so that needs to be reviewed and addressed before the appropriations are done.
Because the issue really before the board, and correct me if I'm wrong, was to whether we hold their contribution static from what it was last year and make up that difference, or there's an increase.
There were
Is that
like
right?
3 different options
Right.
regarding that. If we build them basically based on the total operation of the comm center, backing out what it would take to run the comm center for the sheriff, regardless of funding, would be an increase. The other was to make that adjustment to the expenses to allow for the $300 and some $1,000 that CARES Act money's paid for, back that out of the cost for the comm center and do that. Another option that was presented was if you wanted to hold the rates at the same rate as they were this year, and then basically play catch up when the CARES monies are no longer available. So, at that point, the entities, municipalities could see a larger jump in a year or two. So they're
And what's
different.
actually needed from us? Just a decision on which way that needs to go?
Yes, the board needs to review the options, that we had given you, and come up with a decision of what to charge those townships and municipalities for the use of the comm center.
Should we do that prior to approving this budget, or can we do it as a
Do that
appropriation
afterwards. You can do that afterwards. It just has to be done before the appropriations. We like to do it in conjunction with the tax budget prior to it being adopted, because that gives the townships time to include it in their tax budgets. This year, it's going to be a little bit delayed, so the sooner we can give those numbers to them, they can make their adjustments for their appropriation measures the same as we can.
Okay.
Any other comments? No. Okay. So on item number 27, any call for the roll, please?
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Item number 28, Mary
Item
Raines?
number 28 is a supplemental appropriation for this calendar year, 2021, and pursuant to 570540, and it's to the Disabilities Residential Services Fund in the amount of $500,000 for other expenses related to supported living, and the Emergency Management Agency Fund, other expenses in the amount of $22,130.87, which is a balance of a COVID-19 supplemental grant.
Board, you heard the reading of item number 28 and the contents for the supplemental, and a motion to resolve and approve and authorize those changes in the annual appropriation resolution number 191-20 for calendar year 2021. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Batchelor? Yes. Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes, thank you, Mary. Now, moving on to item number G, additions to the agenda. Are there any additions this morning, Mr. Eigel?
No, ma'am.
Item H, county staff elected official discussion. Any county staff or elected officials this morning? Hearing and seeing none. Item I, member comments. Members, are there any more comments this morning?
Yeah, this morning was not different than any other mornings, as obviously our treasurer had to show up this morning here for, additional cost to this county for legal services. I think we all understand, how Mr. Hicks has plagued this county with, needless litigation and the need for attorneys. And, I just have a concern there that when these issues come up and cease and desist letters are are issued on a particular side where someone violates the law, it seems that, when that involves elected officials, which he particularly is elected official in this county, that, our prosecutor's office is very, very quick to run those to ground. When it involves people who are in elected positions from this desk, it is quickly that kind of thing, becomes an issue to an elected official, such as in my particular case with Coffeegate. I would call on, our prosecutor's office to run this particular issue to ground and to take care of the necessary needs of, the citizens of this county when it comes to, a violation of law against one of our particular elected officials. So I can say that, since I've been a commissioner here since 2017, we have spent a lot of money on this type of thing. And to say that I'm disappointed would be an understatement. So with that.
Any other member comments on this morning? Let's take it to a positive note. I just have to say that it was great finally seeing people going out doing things, being in parades. 4th of July parades were absolutely wonderful in every area in Clermont County, and it was just so nice seeing people actually enjoy life for once and get out from underneath all the COVID. So we'd like to thank you this morning for joining us. Now I ask for a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
Is there
Second.
And a second. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Batchelor?
Yes.
Commissioner Painter?
Yes.
Commissioner Corcoran?
Yes. Thank you for joining us today, and we will see you again next week.